Hi guys, it's Belle here and I'm coming back with the episode 1 of a new series that I want to be doing, and it's called Inspired By, where basically I find inspiration on YouTube or Pinterest or Instagram, and then I have a go at making some of those pieces for myself and sharing with you and doing some craft with me. Some will be simple, some will be more complicated, and it'll normally be journal related. Anyway, so the first piece I want to do is this little tear apart stamped image booklet. I was inspired by Pinterest, by this that I saw, which I thought was really good. And you just tear the sheets off. And this is by Cora Cree Crafts. She's much more organized than me. She's got all her papers and everything sort of laid out and in order. But we're going to have a go. I've made the idea. So let me show you some that I've made already. I've made this cute little gothic one. This is one that I made for a design team project that I did recently, a really simple version that I'm going to show you. And then I've made this steampunk one, and then just this kind of fun piece that I've even put a little pocket on the back of, so you can that's not very good, so you can put a tag or something in there. I'm going to show you two ways of doing it, one with what can be used as a preparation tool, and one way if you don't have one of those tools. So let's get crafting. First thing, these are a great way to use up scraps of card like this and this that you might have. I'm actually going to use a piece of this and a piece of oh, and I've also got some wallpaper I was thinking of using, but I think I'm going to use this, and also for those scrap papers that you've got lying around, perfect for those. And some stamp sets. So I've got this mushroom stamp set and this leaf stamp set. I think I want to use the leaf one with this. This is just from a book page and I really like it. So let's get started doing the basic one first. So I want to do a mushroom one. I want this as the inside because it's plainer. So have a look at the size of your stamps. So I know that I can cut about here, and then you only want sort of an inch and a half on top of that. So I'm going to trim this down. There's no real measurements because realistically it's whatever your scraps are and whatever the size of your paper is. It's best to cut bigger because you can always cut smaller. So there we go. I've just trimmed it down. You can obviously ink around it. Just trim it down. And then have a look. I'm going to put some mushroom stamps. That's a taller stamp, smaller stamps. So now I'm going to fold it over to about, I'd say, 1/2 inch. You don't want to fold it too much. Just fold it over 1/2 inch. Or, well, this is more like 2/3 of an inch, but yeah, 1/2 inch to 2/3. And there we go. So you've got this little booklet now. Then get some papers. I like to use about 5 in my piece, and I like a mixture of images. So I'm going to use this. So I normally make a template one first. So this is a good width because it's leaving a small border either side. You can see. You don't want it going all the way to the top because you need movement there. And then you don't want it going all the way to the bottom. So I'm going to say about there. And then I'm just going to tear this. And they don't have to be perfectly done. Like if you want some rough pieces, here's some tea-dyed paper. So I'm just going to tear the bottom of this. So yeah, use one as your template. I'm going to trim the edge of this. And another piece of fun paper to use. This would be quite fun. These are all papers I had in my neutrals scrap bag. I just wanted to use up some. I often like putting vellum in there as well, but I don't think I've got any spare vellum here, so that's okay. Yeah, try not to lose your template piece, which I nearly did. Yeah, so that's 4, and let's trim this. And one more piece. Let's have a look at the scraps that I've got. Let's use this piece of envelope. It's an old envelope, so I want to just rip this bit off first. And then, and they don't all have to be the same size, the pieces. Are you on camera? Can you see that? And there. Trim that. In fact, I quite like it if they all look a bit slightly different sizes. I quite like that. Another piece. So now I'm going to look. I'm going to hold it with a little clip that I've got here, just so I can look to see if I need to trim any bits off. And then I'm going to get my little booklet over and see if they fit or if it needs any more trimming. I think that's going to fit nicely. So yeah, I think that's going to fit nicely. Yes. Okay, so now this is the bit where you have a choice. So there's 2 ways you can make this perforated. I like to take all of them on my scoreboard. And again, I'm going to look, this is like 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to kind of line it up so that it's not quite to the top here. And then just do like a little line, just the tiniest line, so I can kind of see where that line is. Line it up on my scoreboard. And I like to try and do all the pages at once, so you've got the line all the way through. Do you see that? Now, there's 2 ways you can do this perforation. Either, let's take that. Either you just use your scoreboard and then really burnish that edge down so that it makes it really flexible and brittle, and that will tear really easily. Do the same here. Just tear it down like that. You burnish it down, or you can use one of these tools that you may have seen, you may have in your stash. These are, I picked it up from my local craft store, and these are, if you are going to use one of these tools, it's best to leave room either end. These are for tracing patterns, sewing patterns. See how that's perforated onto fabric. Oh gosh, that went off a little bit. See again, and that'll tear so nicely. Let's do the last one. I picked this up really cheaply, and it's a really good quality one at my local craft shop in the fabric sewing area bits. And let me just show you, if I do it on here, let's just do a piece so it goes through like that, and then that will literally perforate, tear off. But you can get the same effect if you're just folding the piece, folding it over, get a good burnish on there, and then you get the same effect, it rips. So you don't have to have the tool. It's there as an option. I'm just going to lay all these together now. And now what I like to do is I like to stamp the images now. So let's do that. We're going to use the mushrooms. And let's just stamp some images. Where's my book page? I like to keep a book page under each one. So yeah, if you've got lots of scraps of fabric, lots of scraps of paper, it's just a really fun way of using up. Oh, and I like to put my stamp right to the top of my stamp pad when I'm doing this, because you'll see in a minute it makes stamping on the individual pages easier. Just hold that down a second. Try and get tidied a little bit. I don't like working in mess. Stamped image. So that's that one. Yeah, so now when we move to this sheet, it's easier to stamp if your image is right to the top. So let's do another stamped image. Again, right at the top. And then let's just stamp that on there. These are such a fun idea, and it's such a good way of adding a fun element to your journals. I really, really like these. So it's scrap busting and great for your journals. So, I mean, you can't get much better than that, can you? Scrap busting and great for journals. So again, stamp to the top, because this is how I'm doing it. This is how I'm getting the images, just because I know then they'll fit and they're not over the top of the perforated or folded edge, because obviously then if you try and rip them off, then you'd lose part of your image. This is how I do it. Try to think what ones I haven't done yet. It doesn't really matter. Like that. And final one. Let's just do this image here for the final bit. And again, a great way, like I said, to use up your scraps. Let's stick that on there. And there we go. So a nice lot of stamps. I've done that image twice, but it doesn't really matter because it's on different paper. So now what I like to do is I'm going to move this here, because what I like to do is then glue these little page bits down. But all I do is I glue kind of in the middle near the top, and I just stick it down that way. And there is a reason for this. I do not glue the top or the bottom. I don't do that. And again, there's a reason for that. And now we're going to fit this in here with the perforated and folded bits kind of there. These are coming off the edge a little bit. That's all right, because I can rip the edges off. That doesn't matter. I'm going to hold it in place again, because now there's two ways you can do this. So you can either poke a hole through to put the brad all the way through to the back, as I've done on these ones. You can just glue it straight down, front and back. Glue both sides. Glue here, glue there, just like I've done here. Can you see that? Or you can put the brad through, but only put it through, which is what I think I'm going to do in this one. I'm going to do it slightly differently to show you another option. Just put the brad through the top layers here. Oh gosh, no, don't move. Let's get a brad now. Just a little brad. Got these little ones. These are quite cute. Do I want the bigger ones? Oh, I think I want some of these little tiny ones. Try and get the same colour though. That would be useful, wouldn't it? Seriously? Lots of fiddling about. Okay, so I'm just going to put the brads through. I can't remember where I picked these super tiny ones up, but they're perfect for things like this. And they've not got tons of bulk. Sorry if you can't see that. So I'm going to press these down really, really, really well. Oh, I'm losing my pad. And then what you would do is glue this. Just going to roughly glue it onto the back. So you've got no brads coming out the back. That's only roughly glued for now, just to give you an idea. So there's no brads coming out the back, which means if you put a pocket on the back like I've done here, then there's nothing getting in the way. So now we need to put a word up here, or like I've got these little Tim Holtz pieces, which I think work brilliantly for these. I'm just going to have a quick look, try and find like a number one, because you've got like this one would do. Just like that. A little field label would look really good on these. This one's quite cute actually with the bigger number, but it's a bit too big. Yeah, a little field number would look brilliant. Okay, which one do I prefer? I prefer this one. But I've got these right now. And again, I'll show you some options that you can use instead in a second. So that just goes on like that. I wouldn't put lace necessarily here. Sorry about the shadow, it's getting to that time of day. And the reason being because these are to be ripped out. And if you've got lace there, it just kind of gets in the way. So let's have a look. Let's take one of these. Let's take this vellum one because it didn't stamp very well. So these are to be, oh, that's not ripped out. Let's take this one instead. The perforated just makes it easy to rip out. And then if you've got the brads in the back, once all the images have been ripped out and you're just left with the tabs, it's easy enough to remove all those tabs here and put a load of new images back in the booklet. So I hope that makes sense. That's why it's good to have the brads that way. If you have it here where the brads haven't gone through, it's a lot hard. You can't then replace the images. So it depends what you're after, whether you're wanting something you can replace or whether you're wanting something that's just kind of like a one-off. So you can use these little pieces. You can use field notes on my little Halloween one, which I absolutely love. You can use, like, this is a Tim Holtz ephemera piece. On this one, I've used a word sticker. So yeah, these are the different ones. Loving this mushroom one. Going to go in and straighten things up because I've done it on camera, so it's a bit wonky. And yeah, you can rip the ends, so just to give it a little bit of like texture, so it looks like that, which is what I've done with the Halloween one. So like I said, this was inspired by Kara Creates. Let me just double check again, guys, from Pinterest. Cora Creates. There we go. Cora Creates. That's who this was inspired by. I think these are really good little ideas. Like I said, you can put pockets on the back. You could put something else on the back. You could make it an image. Perfect to just fit into your journals to give something a little bit different. Sorry about the shadow and everything, guys. Just give something a little bit different where you can use, instead of, I know a lot of us do paper scrap booklets, These are great ways to use up stamped images to give the recipient of the journal something fun to use through the journal, or they're great for happy mail as well, just to add, so flat, to add into an envelope. And like I said, you can see there's lots of different styles. There's nature, steampunk, a bit more floral, and a bit gothic. So guys, that is episode 1 done for now. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know what you think of this new series, and whether you think these are a cute and fun idea. I will probably be sharing, I'm going to be making a lot more, and I'll probably be sharing images of those over on Instagram. All my links to my Etsy and my Instagram are down below if you want to check those out if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, I hope wherever you are in the world, you are safe and that you're having some crafty fun. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.